All right, everybody, we are back with the Vino Vixens and the Gore Boys, and we are talking about the 2010 Gore Cabernet Sauvignon. Now, our Cabernet queen here is Cynthia. She loves her cab.
It's true.
And let's talk to me about what these guys have done. They can tell you what they did to get there.
Yeah, the thing that I like about this cab is that there's a lot of, like, I don't know how to describe it, like good heavy grapes. There's like good flavor in there. And not heavy in the terms of like, oh, it's like way too tannic or anything like that. It is so drinkable. It is like so delicious. And just getting those flavors from this cab is phenomenal.
Oh.
So I'm curious about what are you doing to put all those flavors in there?
What are you doing?
What am I doing? Well, this one was 2010, so I think one of the things that's important is where it comes from, obviously. I grow a lot of grapes in the southern end of Alexander Valley, where there's a lot more volcanic parent material and really well-drained soils, so they really hit water stress early in the season, and you're adding back the water that the vines need. I think that's a big part of it. I also think that this was a different wine, again, 5 years ago when it was 5 years old versus now when it's 10 years old. And I think that it also lived in a barrel for 30 months and now in a bottle for a long time. So
right on.
Just try to keep it simple. Get good grapes. My friend, another good friend used to say, pick it up. The 70% is 3 decisions. Pick it on the right day, press it on the right day, and put it in a bottle on the right day. And you get those 3 things right, and you'll be okay.
And how does my Zen Queen think about this cab?
In my Wine for Dummies speak, my everyday speak, when I smelled it, it smelled like boysenberry jam, and it was just comforting and awesome. And then when I actually tasted it, it was just good. And I wasn't trying to pick out the flavors. I wasn't trying to identify blackberry. I just enjoyed it. And that's the mark of a great wine, when you just don't want to think about it, you just want to drink it.
Awesome.
So,
Very true.
thank you.
So speaking of not thinking about it, Supervisor Gore, what do you think about that?
You know, one of the things, I mean, I'll talk about this wine, but actually more is that our thing is that all of our wines are very different. So like our 2008 cab versus our 2010 cab, our 2008 Zen all the way forward, they're all different because they're really terroir, and some of them they're from different vineyards, and we don't make a huge lot amount. So if you make 150 to 250 cases, you can't smooth out. You can't take 50,000 cases and like have them basically fit the style that you want. It really resembles what the terroir was that year, what the water table was like, how much water was put on them, you know, where they were grown, whatever. They exemplify what's up. And so for me, that's what I like is that we don't try to like change them too much. I mean, we definitely use a lot of oak. We like to keep them stored in barrels, not even heavy oak barrels, but like neutral and other stuff.
My favorite barrels are white barrels that have never had a red wine in them.
Ah, that's a nice little secret.
Because there's a little bits of something left that a white wine doesn't pull out of a barrel. That's very smooth. I mean, I use a little bit of French, a little bit of American, sometimes new, but I do like my neutral oak to be the first red wine a white barrel has touched.
All right. Well, now we know the secrets.
Huge shout out to the Vino Vixens because
Vino
I appreciate
Vixens.
you know, you guys talked about it is like breaking down the stigmas of wine being unapproachable is one thing that's of the past generation. I think our generation is all about like, you know, come on into this and figure it out. Sometimes you can find a $20 bottle of wine that's better than the $70 bottle of wine that you had. You know, sometimes you know, people look at you and they're like, sometimes you can't. Because the reason sometimes it sounds expensive is because it's expensive land, it's well managed, people who know what they're doing and have taken care of it. But
it helps having a fantastic wine to drink. So
Yay.
thank you for that.
Well, thank you both, Gore Family Wines.
To support
And
the makers, and makers are found here at Locals in Geyserville.
that's it. Locals in Geyserville. Thank you, Vino Vixens. We look forward to seeing you and our absent Vixen friends soon. All right. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.